I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So for a while now, I've been involved with the new documentary, In Search of Darkness, the definitive 80s horror documentary. And watching it, I was reminded of that 80s cult classic, They Live. A film with a certain fight scene I've wanted to discuss for a long time. In terms of the documentary, well, this thing runs over 4 hours. It is as definitive as it gets, and it is great. The film is available to pre-order with delivery expected in November, and you can get this special edition if you order by midnight on Halloween. The link is in the description below. And you'll see some familiar faces from the documentary in my video now on They Live. Watching In Search of Darkness reminded me of just why I love this fight scene so much. It is well made, it is pretty brutal, and it is ridiculous. It escalates from a man asking his friend to try on a pair of sunglasses.
Try these on.
Look, you crazy mother.
To this. It sort of defies analysis, as John Carpenter himself has said that he just wanted a fight scene. He has this wrestling star after all, so why not?
Roddy's a wrestler, and he fought for a living, so we had to put a big fight in. I didn't know how the audience would receive it. I had no clue.
But why is it so long? The fight, not a particularly complex one, is 6 minutes in length. That is a big chunk of time.
It was fashioned after the fight in The Quiet Man, and they just fight through the whole town. It was a story. You know, put on the glasses. Why put on the glasses? You know, it escalates.
For reference, the first Captain America v Winter Soldier fight is under 90 seconds, and the extended 2-on-1 fight that ends the raid is about 5.5 minutes altogether, and that has far more complex choreography and an intense music score. The only sound you'll hear in They Live's fight are punches, grunts, and the odd line here and there. Were it over as quickly as most fight scenes are, it would feel so inconsequential that what would be the point really? It is never going to be that showy or memorable otherwise, and it's between two friends. A quick few punches would somehow feel even odder. A fight between friends needs to feel impactful. It feels important due to being so long. But then upon analysis, it is kind of empty. Perhaps the way we feel about everything we are told to spend money on. Huh? This is an angry FU of a film. I'm not the first to say it. It is a film with a very obvious message, told with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. It is anti-capitalist, anti-consumerist. Look beneath the surface of what you're buying, and you'll see there is not much there, like this fight scene. You come to They Live and want action? Well, here it is. Big, arguably somewhat pointless action. It looks good, it is well choreographed, it maybe has some meaning, but it doesn't need to be this long. You want big, brash and violent? Well, here is all of it. Too much of it. And do you feel any better by the end of it? No. Consuming this didn't really achieve anything. So, wake up, put on the sunglasses. You could argue that after seeing Piper dispatch some cops quite easily through hand-to-hand combat that it shows how strong Keith David is to survive the beating, but I'm not sure that's where their heads were at. Masculinity undeniably plays a part, as it does in many of Carpenter's films, but it's in the physicality of it that I think that most important point is made. It reminds me of the Old Boy fight, which has often been called one of the most impressive fight scenes ever, which it is in a sense, but it is also laborious, tiring, overlong, the way a scene like this would be if performed in real life. In They Live, this is how these guys communicate. This is perhaps what it would take to convince someone to not follow the hidden messages around the world. This is how long, how painful a process it would be to convince someone to put on the sunglasses, to see the world as it really is. They Live's fight is similar now in terms of pop culture saturation to Old Boys, and has entered the annals of film fight history.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
It's become something much bigger than what it was ever intended to be. It has parodies that are almost now as famous.
Cripple fight!
And it is really just a scene where one character spends 6 minutes violently convincing another to wear sunglasses. It is also actually just a pretty great fight. Overlong but entertaining. It is just Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David beating the hell out of each other for John Carpenter in the 80s. That is not just a fight scene, that is a gift. Carpenter had a great fighter, so he let him fight. Sometimes, that is all you really need.
It was a good fight.
So remember, if you want to hear more about They Live and as much 80s horror as you can handle from over 45 contributors, check out In Search of Darkness at the link in the description, and you can enjoy the rest of the trailer now.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
So this is the 80s.
It was a free-for-all for concepts.
When your guard is down, bam!
Very impressive gore.
I just think they're hilarious.
Show me.
80s horror was honest. Most horrifying things that I'd ever seen. Terrific.
It felt like a simpler time. Good and evil, right and wrong.
It's pushing back against a lot of what's happening in the 80s at the time.
Things that people really are afraid to talk about.
Reaganomics, AIDS crisis.
I wanted to do a balls out horror movie.
Sex and nudity on screen, and it's just as much of a hook as the violence was.
That resonates on a biological level with every human being.
It got into your head.
I'd like sit friends down and be like, you gotta see this.
Horror has given a lot of women great roles to play.
Equal opportunity ass kicking is what I'm all for.
Kincaid represented the minorities all over the world, and he was a hero.
I had the best lines.
Thrill me. This is classic Spanky.
Yeah.
Everything's ironic, everything's funny.
You get to have the fun of the danger without the real danger.
Tension, chase, kill.
It's just our survival.
That element of the unknown, that sense of mortal fear, is what the quintessence of horror is about.
You are gonna die!
Horror films are excessive. They're purging. It's like this whole giant thing in your face.
Everybody was trying to outdo each other with the stunts.
I will take practical effects any day over CGI.
I wanted to be the guy in the monster suit.
Makeup artists became one of the stars of the movie. Monsters, vampires.
Cavalcade of werewolves. I thought I was making the only werewolf film.
It was really disturbing and phenomenal.
Every single person on this earth has a little bit of darkness in them.
I want to have extreme feelings. I want to laugh loud, and I want to worry, and then I want to cry, and it's all about the emotion.
I was a kid in Stranger Things that would hop on my bike with all my friends, ride down to the video store, rent a stack of horror movies.
We were all in the moment and making stuff up.
I love the magic of the movies.
We don't take ourselves seriously, but we take the movies very seriously.
Nostalgia is powerful. Guilty pleasure? I'm not guilty about it. I don't feel guilty. I think it's great.
We have such sights to show you.